Welcome back to the Pick Six Podcast with your host Timothy Claiborne. It is September 4th, 2020, 12:15 a.m. I'm glad for you to be joining me again for episode 4. We have a lot to cover today. A lot of more I guess controversial, maybe not controversial, but a lot more serious talks in this episode. I definitely will tell you that. But thank you again for joining me. Since I've started this, let me just get this out of the way. Since I've started this, I have fun recording my episodes for the podcast, and I'm hoping to soon have a guest on here. It's pretty soon. I'm definitely ready for that. And if you're wondering why there's no video, for the next few episodes, I'm just gonna try this out. I'm trying to get this podcast on the Spotify, Apple Music, and other platforms. And I will definitely still be uploading it to my YouTube channel. But for right now, I'm just gonna try to just do the audio, and then I'll show pictures and things of that nature on whatever I'm talking about. But mainly, it'll just be audio with the Pick Six Podcast logo that you're used to seeing in the intro. Will mainly be on the screen. But also gameplay will be coming in about 2 weeks for Call of Duty Modern Warfare and other different games. But yeah, that's just a little bit of an update, a little bit of a reason why it's just only audio for this podcast and for the next few podcast episodes. But let's get into it. We are in a new month. Like I said, it's September the 4th. August was rough. I mean, you had the explosion, I believe, on August 4th in Lebanon. Numerous celebrity deaths. A lot of drama, but there was no death of a celebrity that hit us harder this month, and probably only one celebrity death this year that hit us as hard. I mean, we know Kobe Bryant in January, but August 28th, about 8 p.m. Is about when I found out. Maybe 8:30 p.m. my time, which is Central Time, is when I found out that Chadwick Boseman, star of Black Panther, passed away from unannounced until his family, or I don't know if representatives, whoever it was, put on his social media accounts that he had colon cancer since 2016. So he died after a valiant effort of a 4-year battle with colon cancer, and it was, like I said, it was unannounced. Nobody knew about it, and that's it goes back to when he was on, I guess, Instagram Live. I'm not sure. I didn't keep up with it. I didn't really hear people talking about him being skinny like that. I just really didn't keep up with him. But obviously, unfortunately, we know now why. A lot of those people made fun of him and things of that nature. And it just goes to show you don't know what people are going through. Celebrities, non-celebrities, whoever it is. You don't know what they're going through. So you always just want to keep the best interest, the best thoughts and feelings of them. Because you just never know. And I finally looked at the video. He looked just definitely a lot skinnier, but I mean, like I said, I wasn't keeping up with it personally myself, so I didn't know until after the announcement and people started posting in comments and posting on different social media platforms that, all those people who, were talking about him looking skinny. And so I finally looked it up myself to see what they were talking about him looking skinny. And yeah, he looked very skinny in that IG Live. I believe that was his last kind of post or IG Live, or last time we saw him in person, I guess, before his tragic and unfortunate passing. But I mean, it caught me off guard. And it just, this man was just so great. I didn't even know he was 43. He looked 35, maybe even younger than that, 30, 32 to me. Honestly, he really did. Just shows you that black don't crack. In most cases, there are some that do, but he looked younger than 43 to me. It was just a great actor. Obviously, everybody knows he was in Black Panther and the Marvel movies, Avengers, Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and also Captain America. I'm trying to figure out the exact name for it. Captain America Civil War 2016. but he was also Jackie Robinson in 42, James Brown in Get On Up. He was Thurgood Marshall in Marshall. I mean, he was just in so many great movies. And for him to film Marshall, Captain America, and all the Black Panther and both of the Avengers, Infinity War and Endgames, through surgeries and chemotherapy of having colon cancer, it's just amazing to me. It is amazing. I mean, he said in an interview that he did most of the stunts or as much as he could do. So he doing all of that, and I know that, not personally, but I know that chemotherapy wears you down. It wears you down. They work you hard. It wears you down. So for him to, in between that and surgeries, be able to perform like that and give us great characters in the Marvel movies, a great character, a great Thurgood Marshall, and Marshall is just phenomenal to me. It's phenomenal. I was looking back on Wikipedia of all like his filmography and all the other films, and I didn't realize he was in Lincoln Heights. And I loved Lincoln Heights. I kind of liked it after it went off, but I love Lincoln Heights. And I was like, he was in Lincoln Heights? When I was thinking to myself. And I was like, and I went down to see who he played. And he played the main character, the dad, I guess, estranged nephew that was coming back from war. It was Nate Ray, I believe it was his name. And then I look and I'm like, he did play in Lincoln Heights. And I mean, I didn't even realize it. It's crazy because I didn't even realize it. And I love Lincoln Heights, man. Chadwick Boseman was just he's an excellent actor, man. He's an excellent actor. We all know Black Panther. He was great in that. Whether you like the movie or not, whatever it was, he was great in that. But it wasn't my favorite Chadwick Boseman movie. That belongs to 42. Jackie Robinson, 2013. The last time I think I watched it was Juneteenth of this year. They had showed 42, The Great Debaters, and a couple other, Selma, and like two other films, obviously of historical black moments, and things of that nature. And I ended up watching 42, and I watched all of them, but definitely watched 42. My favorite Chadwick Boseman movie of all time, over Black Panther. Just the way he grasped that character. Especially the scene where I believe he's playing Pittsburgh. And if it's not Pittsburgh, it's Philadelphia. And I think it's Philadelphia. Excuse me. And he is getting taunted by the manager. And I mean, he's calling him the N-word. He's saying that you can't play in the big leagues. This is a white man's sport. You shouldn't be here. And I believe they walked him. I think they walked him, and that's the term in baseball. I believe they walked him to first base. And if they didn't walk him, he struck out or whatever it may have been. And he went into the dugout, went into the tunnel, and broke the bat. And I mean, he shattered it against the wall. And he just showed his emotions that he couldn't really say anything back. He just had to deal with it. And to me, that was one of the best scenes in the movie. It's my favorite scene, and I think it's one of the best scenes in the movie that captured how rough it was for Jackie Robinson in real life, for him to break this color barrier in baseball and in sports in general. And then he ended up later, I think somebody stepped on his, I believe he was at first base, and somebody he was playing first baseman. Somebody ended up stepping their cleats on his ankle, and his teammates wanted to get revenge, but he just wanted them to win the game, and his teammates stood for him and appreciated what he was doing, and they treated him as a true teammate. And that's the reason why I like 42. 42 is just a great film. Obviously, like I said, Black Panther. Any of the Marvel movies he was in other than Black Panther, Captain America, Endgames, Infinity War, they were great too. I have not seen Marshall, and I have not seen Get On Up, his James Brown and Thurgood Marshall roles, but I definitely will be checking out those soon. Um, yeah, it was just very sad, and it just, you didn't expect it. I mean, you just didn't expect this man, for his representatives, his people, his family, to keep that a secret for 4 years that he had colon cancer. And I know the reason he did it. And maybe not the exact reason, but he did it because he didn't want people to feel sorry for him. He wanted to show people that, look, even when the worst could be happening to you, you as a person can push and perform the best you can no matter what into the very end. And that's what he was trying to prove. In my opinion, I'm pretty sure that's close to what most people would think and what he probably would say himself and his family would say. And he did one great job. He did one hell of a job. I mean, it's crazy to me. It like, when I found out, it's like, what? And I went to look, and there it was, and I'm just like, man, this one. And I didn't cry. I didn't feel like I was on the verge of crying, but I felt the hurt. Like, my heart dropped, and I felt pain. And that's just because that was a great person that just left us. It was a great person. But there were 3 things that his death, kind of untimely death or passing, taught me, or kind of, yeah, pretty much taught me. You don't know what people are going through. I said it earlier. You don't know what people are really going through. Like I said, whether it be a celebrity, whether it be you, a friend, your worst enemy, whatever it may be, you don't know what that person is going through at all. So you gotta just hold back and think. If this person, like Chadwick, who's a great actor, top-notch actor, looks this skinny, maybe something's up. You don't go and make fun of him and make jokes and make names like that some people did. And there were some people who, like one guy I saw in the comments, who said he was one of those people that made fun of him, and he said he felt bad, and he apologized, and it looked like a heartfelt apology. And I saw a lot of comments, a lot of likes, and most of the people, and I really want to say all up to that point, I looked at it and I stopped looking at it. After the first time I looked at it, I'm pretty sure there were more comments. I don't know if there were negative ones that said you should be ashamed of yourself. Most of the comments were like, it takes a great man to admit his mistake and to apologize for it. Keep your head up, and you know, you learn from your mistakes. And that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see anybody bash him for being a man like that and saying, look, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. And you live and you learn. And that's what I was happy to see from that. But yeah, a lot of people did that. And me, like I said, I didn't know. I didn't keep up with them like that. I'm doing my own thing. I really don't keep up with many celebrities unless you sports athlete, LeBron James, the NBA, you know, Tom Brady and the the Buccaneers in football, whatever it may be sports wise. But like, if you're an actor, musician, etc. like that, I'm really not keeping up with you like that. But yeah, and then number 2, don't carry around grudges. Don't carry around grudges. And don't take people for granted. That's all in the same one. I mean, just don't hold grudges for people, because you don't know when your time is to go. So if you're holding this grudge and you're like, and you're not moving on with your life, you're not focused on improving your life, getting to your life goals, because you're only focused about this hatred or this dislike, this disdain for somebody. It's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, me, I try not to get in too much drama, but I try to, if you don't even forgive, at least forget about it. You do want to forgive and forget, because it just helps your moral. It helps you confidently, and you mentally. Just get past and through things when you forgive and forget. But even if you don't forgive, forget about it. Just leave it alone and just keep moving on. And don't take people for granted. because now they were just about to start, working on Black Panther 2, and now we don't know what's gonna go on. We don't know if they're gonna go with it and give it to his sister, or give it to the character Michael B. Jordan played. I forgot the name of him. Sorry about that, but I just forgot his name. But we don't know, and we just we take, and not just him. We take a lot of people. Kobe Bryant being here, another example. We took him for granted as, okay, he was this great basketball player. He was this great dad, and he was here. He was doing great things. Now he's gone, and we're not gonna talk about they were the haters, but there's a difference when you hate it. It wasn't just you hated the person. Look, let me tell you. Let me explain. A lot of people think I don't like Kobe, or I didn't like Kobe Bryant, or I don't like Kobe Bryant. I love Kobe Bryant. I did. I don't think he's a top 5 player. I tell you that. I do not think Kobe Bryant's a top 5 player. He's number 9 on my top 10. I'm not gonna go through my whole top 10 and explain all that. If you want to know my top 5, I'll give you my top 4. It's LeBron, Jordan, LeBron. You can flip, but I got LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, and Magic. Kobe's 9th. Shaq is ahead of him. That is just my opinion. If you want me to talk more about that, put it in there, and I'll put it in another podcast in the future. I'll put it in a segment and talk about the top 10 NBA players. But just because I had him 9th doesn't mean I didn't like Kobe Bryant, the basketball. I just thought there were 8 other players better than him. Great man. Incredible father, incredible husband. He died taking his daughter, her teammates, the teammates' family, parents, and coaches to a game. They were going to a game that was, I think, going to be coached by a fellow NBA player, or former NBA player, and fellow opponent and peer to Kobe Bryant, Jason Terry. And so he died doing what he loves doing, and what he loved doing post basketball, and that was being a dad. Teaching Gianna all she could learn, and just being part of the Mamba and Mambacita Academy and things of that nature. And so I loved him. I loved him as a basketball player. I loved him as a person. I just didn't think he was a top 5 player. I just thought 8 players were better than him. I don't understand why people thought I disdained him. I really didn't. Not at all. Never. Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, you don't want to take people for granted. And you just want to, when people are here, when you see greatness, there's trolls. There's going to be trolls. And obviously people really just going to hate people. Like LeBron James. Some people just don't like LeBron James, obviously, for some things he said outside of basketball, and that's fair. That's fair enough. But don't say this person's not a great basketball player when he's a great basketball player. That's it. He's a great basketball player. To me, he's the greatest LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever. Some people don't have him top 5. That's ridiculous. Some people don't have him top 10. That's even further ridiculous. He's number 2 on most people's list, maybe 3. He's number 1 on my list. I put him at 2 if you want to say Jordan's the head of him. But Jordan and LeBron are the 2 greatest NBA players in the history of basketball. Ever. Just ever. But let me get off of basketball. This is not about basketball. Let me get to my third point. Again, don't take people for granted. Appreciate them, and don't live with grudges. Just don't live with grudges. And also, number 3 is live life to the fullest. And that's what, to me, the biggest thing Chadwick taught us. He lived life to the fullest. Even when he got that horrible news, he continued to fight and put out films and go to interviews and love fans and appreciate his fans and appreciate the people that support him, that like him, and even the people that didn't like him. He used that as motivation to continue to be great, excellent, and just amazing as an actor. That's black excellence. That's what he did. He lived life to the fullest, and that's what we all need to do. Live life to the fullest, because you never know when it's your time to go. You just never know. You may go to sleep and not wake back up. You may end up in a car crash, a helicopter. It does not matter. You think those people that went to work when it was 9/11 think that that was gonna happen? They probably went to that job for 10 years. You just never know. I don't know when the Twin Towers were made, but I believe it was made in like the 7th, wherever it was made. Probably went to that same routinely for 10 years, and then that happened, and they're not here, unfortunately. Rest in peace to all was lost for 9/11. You just never know. It just live life to the fullest. Don't live with any regrets. If you make a mistake, fix it, admit it, and continue moving on to try to touch your goals while you're here. Sometimes you may not get to your goals. It's just how it is. But live life to the fullest and with no regrets. And those are like the 3 things, honestly, that I first, like, after I kind of just slept on it, the next day I thought about, like, wow. These 3, like, he really taught us to live life to the fullest. Don't take people for granted. Don't hold grudges. And always understand that people are going through things. So take a step back and think, man, let me not be negative about this guy or this girl or whoever it may be, this group of people, because they might be going through something physically, mentally, whatever it may be. Chadwick Boseman, we miss you. We love you. You were great in everything you did, from Black Panther to Jackie Robinson to Thurgood Marshall to James Brown, to your interviews, to your comments, to your posts, to everything you did to make people smile, make people believe, inspire people. You were excellent at it. We love you, we miss you, and we thank you. More importantly, we thank you for bringing that presence to us while you were here. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. And with that, we'll take a quick music break, and I'll be back to talk to you about the Black community. Y'all probably not gonna like that, but we'll see.
I never had a reason to be out here scheming. You had my whole heart from season to season, but shit started depleting. You switched up on me and you broke my spirit while I was making sure you were eating and sleeping and breathing. And now that you're leaving, I stay up all night just smoking and dreaming. Like, was it really cheating? And what's wrong with me? And if we're supposed to live together, why am I not breathing? No, why am I not breathing? Oh, why am I not breathing? And if we're supposed to grow together, why my leaves ain't greening? At first you had me feeling, but the whole winter turned green, and I had to learn the hard way that shit ain't what it seems, man. Shit ain't what it seems. Like living in a dream. Don't know what you did to me. Somebody take me. Somebody take me.
I thought that shit was me and you. Is you in and you out, I don't know what to do. Used to drown in that thing, my little purse in the pool. You got the brown and I brought the tree. I'm rooting in this, do not play with me. You look in your eyes, my future I see. I'm in and I said when I got you that ring, I cherish the shit, it's so special to me. Remember them days when shit was a little tough for me. Thinking them days that you fell in love with me. Never only feeling like you was so stuck on me. Got with your friends, I just wanted some company. No, I ain't saying that I was was so perfect. Deep in my soul, I knew this shit was worth it. Ain't no one else I won't be on this earth with. Fall out the gym, we watch the whole earth skip. Consciously smoking away all my steam. Fuck being a player, lil' mama the team. But we all the shit that like hand-me-down jeans. Finding shit now, that shit ain't what it seems. Shit ain't what it seems. Like living in a dream. Don't know what you did to me. Somebody tame me. Somebody tame me. Somebody tame me.
I wish we could be. Ooh.
I'm missing you, yeah. I'm missing you, yeah.
You have me looking like a fool.
Don't know what to do with me. All these hoes, they wanna choose with me. Looking like you gon' lose on me. Gotta move it cozy too. These hoes ain't got no clues. Had to dust them all my room. Shit ain't what it seems. Like living in a dream. Don't know what you did to me. Yeah. Somebody tame me. Somebody tame me. Somebody tame me. Yeah.
Shit ain't what it seems. Like living in a dream. Don't know what you did to me. Somebody take me. Somebody take me.
And welcome back to the Pick Six podcast. I hope you enjoyed that song right there. That was Tame. To All My Exes featuring Cozy by Germany. I featured her last week on my shout out, and she was on Music Break as well last week for her song Bitter. Again, if you want to check out Bitter, it's on last week's episode. Just go to my channel playlist under Pick Six Podcast episode 3. And also the link to Tame will be in the description down below. And with that, again, if you heard me right before the music break, I'm gonna get on and talk about the black community. And I know this is gonna probably be controversial. People ain't gonna like what I have to say, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't care. I really don't. Because this is just feelings. This is just how I feel. It's an opinion. And some of it is, to me, kind of facts. I've seen a lot of people agree with this on social media and other things. But if you don't like what I have to say on this podcast, just don't watch. Don't watch. You don't have to. Again, I try to keep it real. I try to keep drama out of it. But sometimes I do have to talk about it. Because it bothers me when I see things of different nature. And I'm going to continue with each episode talking about a lot of different things. I just haven't got to it because, one, I want to do research on a lot of these points and things, and when I bring in these facts and things of that nature. And two, it's so much going on in this world. It's hard to keep up with it all and put it all up in an episode because it seems like by the minute things are changing, things are happening. And that's really what it is. But let me get on with this. Number one, black people don't know what they want. And I'm going with the black community not to target them, and people might call me some names that rhyme with moon. I'm not going to say that actual word, but people might say I'm looking for white approval, but I'm not. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. I'm not worried about the white community. I'm not worried about Hispanics. I'm not worried about Asians or Indians or Native Americans. I'm worried about the black community, the community that I'm part of, that I'm proud to be part of, and standing with the Black Lives Matter movement. I am with that, and I just feel like there's cracks in the foundation that a lot of people don't want to talk about. They want to try to throw deflection everywhere else. And we got cracks in our own foundation. And there are some people I've seen that have talked about it, but a lot of people shut them down and come at them. And there are some people that do agree with those people that do see those cracks in foundation, cracks in the foundation, like me. I said they don't know what they want. And what I mean by that is, one of the biggest examples is a lot of black people don't want to vote for Biden or Kamala Harris. They didn't want to vote Biden because of all his past history. Let me start with Biden. Nobody had a problem with Biden when Obama was in office and Biden was his running mates. All I saw was, oh, Biden's a great vice president. Oh, and this is from the black community. This is not from everybody. This is just mostly from the black community. Biden's a great, vice president. I saw all the memes. They're great friends and they had a great friendship. I never heard a lick of negativity from majority of the black community when Obama was in office and Biden was his vice president, his running mate. Now I hear all these people talk bad about Biden, saying blah blah blah, this and that, and whatever it may be. And those same people are some of the same people who said Obama never did anything for the black community. Let me get on that real quick. Let me get on that. Hold the phone before we continue with Biden. This notion, this narrative, this straight BS that Obama never did anything for the black community needs to stop. First of all, he was the president of the United States of America, not the president of the black community, not the president of the black people. He was the president of white people, of Asians, of Hispanics, of Native Americans, and black people. He was the president of everybody and every legal citizen from 2009 when he was sworn in into 2017 when Trump swore himself in. Okay? So stop it. Stop with this notion he's supposed to cater to the black community just because he's the first African American president. Black people always want black people in power to give them handouts, but when the white people who really are trying to help us, the ones who really see that we are oppressed, the ones that see we do matter, the ones that want us to succeed just as much as they do, we look away. We be like, I don't want that. I'm not taking that. Yet when a black person in power, it's in the law, it's in the black handbook that they are supposed to give us a handout and help back. That is not always the case. How about you step back and you look in your community? You step back and you look and you see, what am I doing to help myself and help my community? The reason why most black people don't do that is because they selfish and they don't want to admit it. I'm selfish to a point. We're all selfish. But really when people be like, oh, I'm all for the black, kind of selfish. Kind of selfish when you break it down. We all have our wants and needs. I understand that. We all have our wants and needs. And there's people that do fight for us hard and people that do protest. And I'm going to tell you, I don't go to protest. Why? Because I might say something. The things that I'll say, what I'm saying on this, probably get me shot. Probably get me people calling me the word that rhyme with moon. People probably jump me. And that'll be what it would be. That's one reason why I don't go to the protest. Another reason why I don't go to the protest is just not for me. Going to protest is honestly, it is not for me. It is not for me at all. I feel like from home, I can support the Black Lives Matter movement, not the organization, but the movement itself. I feel like I can do that on social media. I feel like I can do that from my house. I feel like I can do that on this podcast. That's another reason why I created this podcast. It's not always one way. That's another thing with black people. As soon as you have a small difference in opinion about something, they want to say you're not for the movement, you're against us, and that's not true. I just see it slightly different from you. We're all different. We all have different opinions. All have different thoughts. But sometimes those different thoughts are pushing towards the same goal. People just are so angry. People are so ignorant. People are so selfish that they see right past that and think you're against them. And I can't stand it. Now let's get back to this Obama thing so I can get back to the Biden thing. I'm so off topic right now. I'm sorry, but I mean, it gets me hot. He was the president of the United States of America. We live in a democracy, ladies and gentlemen. A democracy where we have to vote. There are 3 branches of government, people. If you didn't know, it is the Congress, the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Sorry, I messed that up. The judicial, which is the Supreme Court. The legislative, which is Congress. Congress is the House of Representatives and the Senate. And the legislative. The executive. I'm all confused myself. Executive is where the president is the president. We're going to talk about the legislative, which is Congress. Like I said, the House and the Senate. The Senate has 100 people, 2 from representing each of the 50 states. I believe the House of Representatives has 250 people in it. And they each get a third of the vote. The House gets a third. The Senate gets a third. And the president gets a third when they're voting for these laws. So, everybody knows the main 2 parties. I was about to say Democratic parties. Democrat, Republican. For 2 of the 8 years Obama was in office, the Democrats ran Congress, which means the House. Majority was in the House and Senate. So for 6 years, as a Democratic candidate, as a Democrat, as a president as a Democrat, Obama, when he was the president, only had 2 years where most of his laws might have got passed by vote. Of the 6 years, there were Republicans that probably just didn't want him to do a lot. Because they're 2 different parties and they have 2 different trains of thoughts, ideas, and goals of what they want to do. So if he wanted something and the House and the Congress, or House and Senate, or Congress in general, I'll just call it, were Republicans, that third is 2/3 outdid his 1/3. That's what I want people to understand. So it wasn't just always he tried and he did a good job and he did his best, but it's also because we live in a democracy and they voted against a lot of his policies. I just need people to understand that. Now back to Biden. You didn't like his running mate, Kamala Harris, because she did her job and put some black people in prison, maybe because as black people we can be criminals like everybody else, because when some people scream black on black crime, you say it's just crime. Every other race commits crime. So why is it that sometimes it's like black people don't commit crimes? Black people do commit crimes because those same people that say that want to say men that hit women, and it be black women that say black men, the black men that hit them, they want them in jail. That's a crime. That's domestic abuse. That's a crime. Don't have the same energy for when a black man kills another black man. You want to just deflect it off like we don't kill other people. You don't want to call it black on black crime? That's fine. I don't care. Stop killing each other. Don't yell Black Lives Matter if you going around and killing everybody else. Or killing everybody within our community. Excuse me. As I say that. I can't stand it. Cannot stand when people try to throw and blame other people for their misfortune. Everything is not the white person's fault. It is not. Because if it was, we would still be slaves. That's just the honest truth. If every white person was racist, we would still be slaves as black people. And if you disagree with that, you're just foolish an idiot or you're in denial. I'm serious. Stop blaming sometimes black people, we put ourselves in these positions. Whether it be drugs. And I ain't talking about weed. 'Cause that's not drugs. It is a drug, but it's not that bad of a drug. Honestly. I'm talking about dope, cocaine, meth. All those that some people do, popping pills. That some people do. That cause them to lash out, cause them to do crazy stuff. Yeah, that type of stuff. Being in gangs. And we kill each other. Crips and Bloods. That's another thing. We just gotta stop. And then, no. Let me continue. Killing somebody because they took your girl, or maybe your girl cheated with them on you. Come on now. Come on. It's not even worth it. You done killed this man because she done cheated with him over you, instead of you just being mad at her and then getting over it and continuing on with your life. Remember when I said, live life to the fullest, don't hold grudges, forgive and forget, and keep going. You done killed this man, and then the next day you gonna be like, Black Lives Matter. Get on with that. I can't stand that. Get on with that. I cannot stand that. It bothers me. It bothers me. But getting back to her, she did her job. Black people do crimes. We do. And I feel like we don't do all the crimes. We don't. But we do crimes. She did her job. Her job was to send people who did something wrong to prison. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Stop trying to say that she put innocent black people. Not all those people were innocent. There's a lot of people that probably did it. I don't know the full story, but I'm pretty sure most of those people did the crime. You just didn't want them to do the time. You wanted to give them a handout because she was a black person, or if she was half black, or whatever you want to call her. Because this half black thing also bothers me. You just wanted her to you wanted them to give a handout to the black people because she was in power. Whether you think she's black or not, I could care less. This half black thing, it's gotta stop. If somebody mama was black and they dad is white, they are biracial, they are half black. Don't say, oh, they don't know what it's like they don't know what it's like to be black. They are black still. Their mama knows what it's like to be black. And vice versa, if their dad was black and their mom was white, they dad knows what it's like to be black. How do you not know if they dad ever went through anything or any racism or had prejudice people being prejudiced towards him? How do you know? You just assume because, oh, he's biracial. He don't know what it's like to be black. He don't know how the struggle it is. Stop that notion. You don't know everybody. Stop assuming things. People always assuming stuff. I used to assume stuff. I still kind of do. And I'm trying my best not to. Stop with this notion that just because somebody's biracial, they don't know what it's like to be black. It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. That's the first thing. Now, getting back to this point about you probably asking, okay, he said all this stuff. He's been off topic a couple of times, and I have. I'm sorry about that, but I gotta just explain because there's so much that come to me, man. I just gotta continue to. It's just so much that come to me. I just gotta get to these points, and I gotta bring it all the way back. I said that black people don't know what they want. Black people say they want change. But the only change that comes is voting. And those black people don't want to vote because they don't like either candidate. So you don't like who's in office now, but you don't want this next person to get in office. So you're not going to vote, which means you're going to still end up with the same person you didn't want in there that's already in there in the first place. What are you asking for change? What are you asking change for then? What are you asking for change for if you're not going to freaking vote? It's got to make sense. And then you want to talk about our ancestors fought for this, this, and that. They fought for the right to vote, and you not gonna even vote. That is disrespectful to them. They had to fight. They had to fight hard to vote, especially women. I see women saying they not gonna vote. Women had to fight hard to vote. Black people, black men had to fight hard to vote, and they were still oppressed from the polls. Voter oppression. Steering them away from the polls and to the Voting Rights Act of 1964. LeBron James, he's getting people, I believe felons, ex-felons, the right, paying off their debts so they have a chance to vote this year in this year's election while he's down in the bubble in Orlando to finish off the NBA season. These celebrities are doing the best they can to get people out here to vote, and half of y'all don't want to vote because you don't like the candidates. It's ridiculous. It's sad, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Honestly, you should really be ashamed of yourself, especially if you ask for change, because everybody knows in a democracy, more times than not, 9 times out of 10, 99.99999, that last 9 before it's 100% of the time, change happens with a vote. But you don't want to vote because you don't like the candidate. Half of y'all voted for Obama just because he was black. You didn't even understand what he was trying to do. That's another reason why you didn't have a problem with Biden running with him. You just was happy that a black man was running and had the opportunity to win, and he won both times. You didn't even know what he was trying to do. That's why after he done got out 4 years, now you want to say Obama never did anything for black people. Well, if you would have stood back, and I ain't talking about the young generation, my generation. Talking about the people that's older. I see a lot of people that's older, 10, 15 years older than me, talking about Obama never did anything. You were still old. You were still mature at that time. You should have stepped back and said, what is this man really trying to talk about, instead of just voting for him because he was a black man. I see 2% of people voted for Kanye West to try to get him on the ballot because I saw it. A comment on, and I'm going to get to this. This is my next segment, the Shade Room. Somebody said, I asked him, I was like, why you pick Kanye? And he was like, because he was black. Excuse me. I turned off my phone and just looked and just puzzled in awe, because he said the reason why I voted for Kanye, or wanted to vote for Kanye, or I will vote for Kanye, it was because he was black. That's when I knew, oh boy, we in trouble. We are in trouble as a black community. You didn't give me, oh, I think he's going to do this, or I think he's going to do that, because he was a black man. Yet some people always say all skin folks are not skin folks are not kin folks. You voted, you're going to vote for Kanye, the same guy who said Harriet Tubman did not save the slaves. She just sent them to work for other slave owners. That same Kanye, miss me with that. Miss me with that. That right there is pure nonsense. I'm so frustrated right now. This segment wasn't even supposed to be this long, but I gotta get through it. Miss me with that. Miss me with this Kanye trying to run and voting for Kanye, and miss me with this. You won't change, but you're not voting. Be gone. Get out of my face with that BS. 2, we never want to hold each other accountable. I talked about this earlier. We never want to hold each other accountable when we kill each other. And I'll try to make these next 2 points quick because I talked about them earlier in my first part. We never want to hold ourselves accountable for our own mistakes, whether it be killing each other, whether it be for us being behind on rent, or whatever it may be, our own personal problems within our community. We always want to throw it to everybody else but ourselves. Sometimes you put yourself in your own situation, whether it be something big or small. You put yourself in your own situation. But I see so many people throw blame and deflect and never want to man up to their own. I'm going to just go ahead and say I'm going to censor it out there. They don't want to man up to their own. I usually don't like to curse on here, but I just had to get it out so you understand my frustration with that. And the third thing is, we like to think white people are the cause of all of our problems. Listen here, people. Listen now. Listen carefully. I said it earlier. If white people caused all of our problems, we would still be slaves as black people. White people have done a lot to us. A lot. I'm not saying they haven't done nothing to us. They brought us from Africa to this country, which is stolen land of the Native Americans. They made us slaves, work out in the fields. They called us the N-word with the hard R. They called us a lot of other horrible things. I'm not going to say it on this show. So I'm not saying they didn't do anything, but I'm also not saying they did everything. Cuz it goes back to my other point. We sometimes put ourselves in bad situations. Domestic violence within the black community. That's not white people. That's just you being with somebody that's abusive. More times it's men hitting women. The rare occasion is women that's doing it to the men. It's a very small percentage. Like a tiny small percentage. That's not the white people. Again, we killing each other. Over nonsense. Over weed. Over somebody cheating. Over because somebody said this about you. You want to kill this person? It's fine if you want to fight them, but nobody want to fight no more. Because everybody's always embarrassed to get dropped. If you know you can't fight, don't create a confrontation. Just leave it alone. Just walk away from the situation. Just walk away. Just how women tell you to walk away from or a lot of people tell you to walk away from a situation with a woman before you hit her, just walk away. Men and women, just walk away from that situation. If you can't fight, you can't fight. Also, you never know. That person, even if they can fight, or you don't know if they can't fight, what they gonna bring. Who they bringing with. And what those people got. That is how gun violence happens. And I'm not saying, oh, you're gonna, and then there's gonna be the people who are gonna be like, what about the people? No, I'm talking about within this community. I know every other community. We live in a world where people kill each other, obviously. I know every other. You don't have to tell me that. I'm tired of people saying, well, these people killed this and they did this. Don't you think I know that? I'm not stupid. I'm just saying within this community. Stop trying to get out of this little community that you want to rise up and that you're trying to get to this promised land of saying, yes, we do matter. We want our equality. Stop oppressing us. Stop trying to get out of that and know that you have cracks in the foundation of this movement. Cracks in the foundation of this community. I know other people, other races kill each other. But I'm talking about within this race, if we would just stop the nonsense and just keep moving forward. Allow people to have a little bit of an opinion and a different view that leads towards the same goal would be great. It would be great. We would be a lot better off getting towards something if we did that. But no, we like to put all this drama in here and then blame everybody else but ourselves. Sometimes it is us. I've said it again. Sometimes it is us. And we got to be accountable. We got to stop blaming. We got to stop throwing deflect and deflecting it to everywhere else and throwing it everywhere else and manning up and being like, look, I made this mistake. He made this, she, whatever. We made this mistake. We fixed it. We moving on and keep on going. Again, if you didn't like anything I said or will say or have said or whatever it may be, don't listen. Dislike it if you want. I could care less. If you want to talk to me personally, my Instagram is TimBob1996. DM me and I definitely text you back on that. Because I meant every word I said. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Too many people in the world that care about one person's opinion, but everybody don't care about it. Everybody gonna be triggered about what I said. If you don't like it, just keep going. If you want to hit me up, again, my Instagram is TimBob1996. DM me and we can talk about it. And with that, we'll have another quick music break, and I have my IG shout out.
Yeah, gang. It's your boy, King Ruthless, FOE, yeah, I see y'all niggas talking this behind my back, saying that you pulling up, so nigga, where y'all at? Steady watching every move, make them follow the trash. Catch me slipping on the path, but a nigga don't lag. Now I'm bustin' down in your bitch. It was all up in the guts, the residue on the lips. All my niggas be on go, so I ain't worried about shit. I got the juice, just like Bishop Bullock, stick to the script. Trigger home and send a couple rounds, bet that he come down. Silencer on the pistol, that bitch when I make a sound. Use a clowns, nigga pussy when them hitters come around. We some hounds, got them killers with me, bet we shut shit down. Pull up at your spot, you know we make the whole sign. We pull up at your spot, you know we make the whole sign.
Like hot mare, can I be your friend? I be like, nah, bitch, but I'll take your man. Matter of fact, ho, I just wanna spend his bread, give him back. Once your nigga give me head, look, I'm getting money now. I know you see it, clown. You was stunting on me, now you tryna come around. I start off real cool, don't make me be cruel. Be ashamed to find you laying in the fucking pool, bitch.
Pull up at your spot, you know we make the whole sign. We pull up at your spot, you know we make the whole sign. Ooh. Yeah, King Ruthless. Yeah, I got my nigga Holly Marie, y'all know who it is. Yeah.
You hoes is funny. You see me?
And we're back, and I hope you enjoyed that last song. That was Gang by Ruthless. This man here has so many other great songs you need to check out on his SoundCloud at Ruthless11. His Instagram, his Twitter are both Ruthless_11. Please check this man out. He is an underrated rapper. He is a great friend of mine. He goes also by Weezy. Not going to tell you his government name, but Ruthless, King Ruthless or Weezy, that's what he goes by. Man, this dude is straight fire all the time, every day of the week, even when he kidding around to when he's being dead serious. Can freestyle off the top of his head with ease. He is just so talented. He can sing, can dance a little bit, a great football player, can hoop, can act, just so talented, even can cook. Now he is taken. So ladies, he's already off the market. He's taken by somebody. But in all seriously, no, he is like probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. Honestly, he's like one of the funniest people I've ever met. Great person, known him since 2010, 8th grade. When he moved to Texas from Oklahoma, and he just been great ever since. He's a down to earth person that if you look down, you be like, he's not down to earth. This dude is down to earth. Honestly, he's just down to earth. He's chill. He's great to talk to if you are going through something or if you're just trying to be chill with somebody. He's a great friend. You don't want to get on his bad side, but you rarely get on his bad side unless you do some crazy stuff to him or whatever it may be. But like I said, he's just down to earth. Again, a great rapper. A little inside joke we have is we call him the second best rapper in the state. And when he listens to this, he gonna laugh. But yeah, he really is underrated. He probably is honestly the second best rapper in the state. He really isn't, but he could really be the best rapper in the world if he ever got the opportunity to get, that big break. And I feel like he deserves that big break. Check out his other songs like Game Boy, Like Mike, and many more on his SoundCloud. Again, it is Ruthless11. His Instagram, his Twitter is Ruthless_11. And that was my shout out for this week. And as I finish this up, I want to talk about, and I said earlier, the Shaderoom, which should be canceled. Cancel culture. Everybody wants to cancel this person, that person, this, and that. I want to cancel the Shaderoom because it is what the name is. The Shaderoom. It throws shade at people. First of all, they divide the black community. They put certain things up at a certain time to divide the black community. And I don't know why they do it. The other day, Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP, of the Kansas City, and Super Bowl champion of the Kansas City Chiefs, just proposed to his longtime girlfriend from high school. The Shaderoom posted it. And the comments were as toxic as can be. You had one person I remember saying, "Here come the black women," because this guy who's again biracial, he's mixed. His mom's white. Who mad that he got a white woman? Here come the black women who saying, "Nah, y'all just saying this. We respect them." And keep going. We got people who saying, "Nah, this not it," or we got people who calling them mayo and mustard and whatever it may be. That is toxic. It is toxic. Why can't you just say congratulations and keep moving on? Why you can't say that is because you're mad it's not you. You're mad it's not a black woman, or you just mad it's not you personally. And that's just unnecessary hate. It's unnecessary hate. I don't know why. Like, look here. I love black women. I've never dated a white girl ever. Never. I've never dated a white girl. But if I were to and I got married to one, that doesn't mean I think white girls are better than black women. I just happen to fall in love with this specific white girl. It's not throwing shade, but a lot of black women think that's, "Oh, you don't like black women." No, that's not what it is. And some black men think that. That's not what it is. He just happened to fall in love with her in high school. They were together since high school. You gonna tell him, oh, I don't care if you've been together since high school. You're biracial. You're mixed. You're supposed to get a black one. He can get whoever he wants. Because when black women go to white men, y'all be like, that's because, and I'ma say it, ain't. And I'll definitely censor that out because I rarely curse, but I just get, you make me so angry when you say that and you go with the white man. You're contradicting yourself. You're being hypocritical for being mad at him or even any other black man just because you're gonna say, oh, he's not a true black man, he's mixed. If another black man did it, you'll be mad. It's not because they don't think y'all are beautiful, smart, intelligent, and great, and they don't love y'all. They love y'all as a person. I hope they do. I do if I were to do this. They just fell in love with this one person. That's all it is. But there's people that just are like that. But the Shade Room is just so toxic to me. Because they post some things so people can try to get the top comment. And some of those top comments just be so... It be like they just post stuff to really be the top comment. It's toxic, honestly. It's very toxic. They feed their own narrative to people so that people can only think one way. It's another reason why you shouldn't always get all your information from social media, because people will post it and leave out information so that their narrative, and if you don't know what narrative is, their opinion is what it really is. But their narrative is a certain way that you can only think. Just take the time. Listen, take the time and look up. If you go to the Shade Room or anything on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even if somebody posts something on Snapchat, take the time to go to Google. Because we all on our phones. Old people, young people, middle-aged people, all on our phone. Take the time to go and look it up for yourself at a reliable source. Just take the time. They like to conscrew this. I don't think I even said that right. They like to manipulate the mind. Kind of like the government. Almost kind of like the government. They like to, so that you can't see, you don't get all the facts. They want you to think of it this way. And I've noticed that. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, and I go look at it myself and I'll be like, they left this out, they left that out, blah, blah, blah. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. To me, the Shade Room it's not even been any place else. It's been the Shade Room, and it's different because I see it on sports pages, and it's be those pages that are troll pages. They're legit troll pages. They just say stuff, and then there are people that hate, but that's different with sports, because sports people just hate because they're not that good. They're not that good. Some people are just not that good at sports. Because to say LeBron James is not great, get out of my face with that. Or to say, this person's not, get out of my face with that. But there are people who get on there and they just, man, I just can only shake my head. They get on there and they make you angry. They make you angry and they frustrate you. They stress you out. They make you think, are people really this crazy? And people are really this crazy. People are really this dumb. People are really this misinformed on things of that nature when they put up stuff like that. I remember when it was I don't know what it was. This about something about the election. And this woman, she was like, she had to be at least 10 years older than me, if not 15. I don't know what she was. She said, oh, your vote doesn't count. It doesn't matter anyway. That's a lie. Listen here. Your vote does count. Your vote does count. I'm going to get to that in the next segment. But remember, your vote does count, and I'll explain to you why it does count. But just the false information you see on there. Obviously, we know there's going to be trolls, but there's actually people who say stuff, and I'll be like, that's not even correct. Like, yeah, who told you this? Where's your sources at? Like, come on now. Come on now. I remember it was I believe it was Boosie said that R. Kelly can beat anybody in a verses on hits, and he said he put Michael Jackson in there. And I said, look here. Ain't nobody touching Michael in anything. He's the undisputed GOAT. If you want to hear me talk about and praise Michael, because I'm not going to praise him too much, watch episode 3. And there were people like, yeah, this, and that. And no, look here. And then I'll just be like, nah. You just want to say that because you want to be controversial. Then there's the people who say free R. Kelly. And I'm like, no. Again, if you don't want to do the time, don't commit the crime, Robert and his fans. I'm so mad at them because now they don't play Remix to Ignition. The Ignition remix on the radio, only on Sirius. I'd be mad. Damn it, Robert. Damn it. But I just see so many things that just I be just thinking like people really this dumb. It's like, when you raise your hand when the teacher say, Charlie had 5 apples. Sarah gave him 2. How many does he have now? And somebody says 3. Like, what the hell are you talking about? That's how I feel sometimes when I look at people on the Shaderoom. It really should be canceled because, like I said, it divides the black community. In my opinion, they try to have a narrative that don't give you all the information, and they're just toxic. It should really be canceled. It is to me. It's part of why we have cracks in the foundation of the black community. It's not the biggest reason, but it is part of the reason. Cancel the Shaderoom, in my opinion. You don't have to agree, but they should cancel it. And for my last segment of this podcast, I told you about it in when I said your vote does count. Your vote counts. Listen here. A lot of people might not know this. It takes 270 electoral votes. Not personal votes. Not 270 people, individual votes to win the election. It takes 270 electoral votes. Electoral. If you didn't understand me, electoral, which means each state has a certain amount of electoral votes. I believe California has 54, Florida 29. I don't know if Texas have like the second most behind California. I think at 40 something or maybe 51. Not sure exactly. Give me just a second. Let me look this up. Here, I got it. So it's 538 total electoral votes in the electoral college. Texas has 38. California has 55. Florida 29. Louisiana 8. Georgia 16. And so on and so forth. I'll post the map for you when I edit this up. But basically, those electoral votes, your individual votes helps that candidate win a state. So here in Texas, with 38 total electoral votes, if Trump were to win Texas, which most likely he will because Texas is usually a Republican state, you will know if you do research know what states are usually Democratic more times than not and Republican more times than not. And then you'll learn about swing states, states that flip depending on how good the candidate did between the elections. But Trump, if he wins Texas, will get 38 votes towards the 270 he needs to win this year's election. That's what I mean, and what other people mean when it says your vote does count. It does count. It helps that candidate win that specific state. 2, people don't understand it's not just the president that you should vote for. You should vote for your local, state government officials. You should also vote for Congress. I talked about it earlier. The House of Representatives, 250 people. In the Senate, 100 people, 2 from each state. Know who's running, keep up with that, and vote for those people, because that helps who you think, that helps the person you want as the president as well. And it's and this thing that everybody we all know all government people are shady, including Obama. He was shady. He just happened to put all his out in a book, so nobody could say anything about him or dig up stuff. Now people gonna say stuff about him, but dig up stuff on him that we didn't know. He put it in a book. We all know that, but you gotta choose the people that you feel are gonna do good and do right to help you. And those people start with obviously your state and local officials and Congress, House of Representatives, and the Senate. And lastly, again, I want to get back on this. Nobody had a problem with Joe Biden running with Obama as his running mate, but now there's just so much heat thrown his way because of stuff he done in the past. We all know people have done stuff in the past. We know that. Sometimes you need to relax and know maybe there's a greater evil that's in here right now in Trump. And we know what the country looks like now because of how he's been in office compared to what this person, you don't even know what they're going to do. You don't know how it's going to be. A lot of people say 2020 is the worst year ever. It's not the worst year ever because our ancestors and a lot of other people have been through a lot of things. World War I, World War II, 9/11, the Spanish flu, slavery times, the Great Depression. This is just the worst year of our lifetime, is what you really want to say. But again, sometimes you got do your own research. Stop listening to what everybody else has said. I just feel like so many people go to social media to get their news now. You don't have to watch the news. You don't have to watch Fox. You don't have to watch CNN. You don't have to watch ABC, NBC, whatever it may be. Just use Google and go to a reliable source. Even if you don't want to go to the websites of CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, etc., etc. There are other websites that give you great information. Just take the time and look. And remember to vote. Election day is November 3rd this year. Know when the polls open. Get out there and vote. Just get out there and vote, because everybody's like, I don't want to get out there and vote because coronavirus. You got to get out there and get groceries. Some of y'all still partying, and that's the reason why we still on quarantine. Some of y'all still go out there and party. I see a lot of y'all go to the malls. I see a lot of y'all go to the beaches. I see a lot of y'all do a lot of different things. Just put your mask on, stand in line, and go and vote. I'm not going to sway your position on who you need to vote. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying go out there and vote whoever you want to vote for. I know who I'm voting for. Just go out there and vote. It's important. Your vote does count. If you need help learning how to register to vote, hit me up. Again, my Instagram is TimBob1996. You can find it in the banner or my Snapchat. Either or. My Instagram, if you click it on the banner, it'll go to my Pick 6 films page. But either or, I'll answer it either way if you want to know how to register to vote. But I want to thank you for listening to episode 4 of the Pick 6 podcast. I know it got very heated, very controversial. Like I said, there be people who like it, people who dislike it, people who don't like what I have to say. I could care less. It is my opinion. It's my show. If you want to put your opinion out there, make a podcast. It is not that hard. I love you. I thank you. Again, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We love you. We miss you. And I'll see you for episode 5 of the Pick 6 podcast. See you later.